Hey guys, it is me, Tanya, founder of the T&G Designs Group Limited. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about how does branding affect your company. Now, as a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're doing, especially as a product owner or as a service-based entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're doing and how it is that you're getting out there, branding hugely affects your company. And there are key things that I want to make sure that you are being made aware of, especially off the back of watching this video, but equally are going ahead and actually implementing by the end of it. Because it's all well and good that you're taking in the information, that you're writing your notes, which is absolutely brilliant, by the way. But do this one step further and literally start taking action with it. Because I don't know about you, but I know so many people who just have notes and notes and notes and reams and reams and reams of notebooks that have umpteen amounts of key points and key strategies, but they haven't done anything with them. So I hope that you're not falling into that category. My hope is that anybody who comes across my channel, not only do they get to understand what branding is, but equally they're actually implementing all the key strategies that I'm sharing with them off the back of watching my videos. Now, there are always ways to be able to take yourself that one step further, because at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to progress, you're trying to build especially the awareness of your brand. And it's my hope and my belief that by watching my videos, you're going to be able to understand, number one, what branding is, and equally what it is not. Number two, also how branding can really affect your company in a way that's congruent to your beliefs and in a way that's congruent to your standards, meaning that you don't get to actually lose yourself in the process of doing so and building your awareness of getting yourself out there, essentially. Now, the reason why I talk super passionately about this is because not only have I gone through my own branded journey, and still, I guess in some ways we're all still going, right? So that means that the journey is continuing. Not only that, I've helped a lot of people, bigger companies all the way through to small SMEs, right? Such as yourselves, helping people to literally just get themselves out there, to show up in a way that's congruent to what they believe in, to show up in a way that's equally congruent to their standards. And again, the reason why they're doing what they're doing. So I give them key strategies just like this, but actually and then some, to be able to make sure that they get themselves out there at the time of my helping them, but equally continue to do so even when I'm not around. Because that's my thing. I'm not about making sure that you stick with me, especially when I come to work with you. I'm not about that. I want you to go and do it yourself, because I believe that with the knowledge that you get from working with me, you get to understand how you can go out there and implement it yourself, how you can go out there and equally maintain it yourself. Sustainability is huge, and I want to make sure that you have that, especially when it comes to building the awareness of your brand. So that being said, let me stop right there. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. Equally, hit that little ring bell so that you always get notified as to when I go on ahead and upload a new video, so you don't get to miss out. Folks, make sure you take in all of what you need to and then some. And without further ado, let's get stuck into it. So, as I said, we're going to be talking about how does branding affect your company. Branding most definitely will affect your company, number one. Number two, branding will affect it in so much of a way that you'll start seeing the difference when you actually start paying attention to certain key points within your business, within your entity, with what it is that you're doing, whether it's a service-based entrepreneur or product-based entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. Branding is for you, and branding will help to separate you from all others who are doing something similar to yourself. So how it will affect your company is the way in which it will help you to stand out from others. It's the way in which it will help you to understand how to speak to others. And equally, it will also be the key thing that will make you make sure that you constantly stay on a path that is congruent to what it is that you believe in, that is congruent to what it is that you stand for, and equally that is congruent to the real reason why you're doing what you're doing. Branding. If you've ever come across any of my other previous videos, you'll know that it is all about the way that you make others feel, that it is all about the way you want to be known, and equally what you want to be known for. What are people talking about you behind your back? That's your brand. Imagine that you've got this big entity, that you've got this space, which is you, right? This big building, which is you. Then your doorway is your logo into this building. The minute you get into that building, when you start seeing all the little intricacies hanging on the wall, when you start seeing all the little things that make you you, that you really love, that's the elements of your brand. Now, I know it's a bit of a far-fetched analogy. However, I'm sure you get the gist in the sense where branding is all the little elements that build up you. So you want to make sure all those aspects, the values, which are all those little elements, the purpose for the reason why you're doing what you're doing, and equally the vision where you actually see things heading, are actually being realized and resonated with. Because the minute you start doing that is the minute that you start seeing how much of a difference or how much of an impact branding actually has on your company. And you'll see that by way of the actually attracting the right type of people. You also see that by way of just speaking naturally about what it is that you do, and comfortably and passionately. And equally, you also see that by way of the growth that you're going to suddenly start having. Simply because you've tapped into key aspects, key elements to help you to get yourself out there in the best possible kind of a way. Simply because you've understood how branding can really affect your company. And simply because you've taken the time to understand your VPV, your vision, your purpose, and your values, to be able to elevate in certain spaces that now actually make sense to you. So yeah. So folks, it's a short and sweet one, but essentially, I wanted that to really hit home with you, to be able to understand just how much branding can actually affect your company. It is super integral and equally super important to be able to have. You need branding to be able to drive your marketing. If you don't have your brand, well then how do you know who to speak to? How do you know who your audience is? How do you know what to say to them in the first place? You need branding to help to drive those aspects. And essentially, you need branding to help you drive your logo. You need branding to help drive your website. If you don't have a brand, well then you'll have a website that will be targeting every known Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Jemima, and whoever else you want to call under the sun. Then you'll also be sending out a message that has no resonance to what it is that you're doing. And equally, you're also going to be hitting and hoping, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping one strand will at least stick, and maybe one will. But how much time, how much investment, money-wise, have you actually put into that, not having, actually addressed your brand? Think about that. Folks, I'm going to leave it there. And one thing that I really want you to do to help you to understand how you can make sure that the branding that you're putting forward so that it affects your company in a great kind of a way is the type of branding that will allow you to literally lift off or even elevate off of what you learn from 6 key principles that I'd love to share with you. Now, these key principles, you'll find them in the link that's underneath this particular video. The minute you click onto that link, yes, you're going to be asked for a few details, but here's what's going to happen next. You're going to get sent 6 key principles that will help you to boost the awareness of who you are, but equally also start talking to your specific audience in a way that's congruent to your beliefs and what it is that you stand for, and more so in a way that is literally more purposeful to the idea of what it is that you're doing for your service and for your product as well. It's now going to make sense off the back of these key principles, simply because it'll make sense to you the minute you take what's needed to be able to drive home your VPV, your vision, your purpose, and your values. So folks, I'm going to leave it there. Once again, please make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the other side.